So should I go with the Sauvage?
Yeah,
or should I go
since
with
you said you love it.
I do love it. No, the Sauvage is one of my favorites because this is such an interesting bottle. This is Sofian. He is one of the guys from Gruet, and thank you for bringing in like champagne and wine.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to try not to make a mess here. I'm not so much a pro, but I'm going to give this a shot.
Whoa!
Ooh, hey, that
There
was
he
awesome. What did I? Just as I said, I'm going to try not to make a mess. But this is the Sauvage, and I think a lot of people don't realize the champagne is made from 3 different kinds of grapes. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And the Sauvage, though, is made from what? It's mainly Pinot.
No, Sauvage is 100% Chardonnay.
It is
so
Chardonnay.
It's a Blanc de Blanc, yes.
It's the Blanc de Noir.
Blanc de Noir is mainly Pinot, yes.
Okay, what are the 3 kinds of generally that you get in a sparkling?
Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier.
Pinot Viognier. So one of the things I know, I actually got a chance to go with my friends from the Albuquerque Trolley Company to the tasting room the other day, and I had a great time learning all about how to taste champagne. It was like this amazing learning experience. And can you kind of walk me through that again?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you first pour a glass of sparkling wine or champagne, what you want to do first is look at the mousse, the bubbles, and look at the crown of the glass. Also,
and you pour it.
Pour it at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You do one of these, and then I'll just pour a tasting sip here, one of those.
See, so you have great mousse in that.
Okay, so this is my tasting sip, and that's for you. and then after that,
you're gonna look at the color.
And let's see if I can put this in front of our screen here, so you can see that it's a slightly yellow.
Slightly yellow,
tinted.
yeah. That's typical of Chardonnay-based sparkling wines. You're gonna have more of a yellow color, more, and then the Pinot base, you're gonna have more salmon colors, and then rosé, obviously, 100% Pinot Noir is pink.
Right.
So you look at the color, and you're gonna, Chardonnay, obviously white, Pinot Noir, obviously red.
Right.
You're gonna see the different tints in the glass.
Right.
And then the next thing is the nose.
Okay.
What's on the nose? So typical for Chardonnay base is green apples, crisp green apple, grapefruit.
I can't smell that.
Some lemon, some citrus flavors.
I can absolutely smell that.
And
yeah.
then when you go towards the red grapes, you're going to get more berries and strawberries and raspberries and cherry.
Maybe it's all the coffee I've been drinking this morning, but there's like a cilantro or something in this too. Something like a little bit stronger like that. Too.
Minerality.
Oh,
more
is that
like
what I'm
more
saying? I think we're both smelling the same thing. We don't have the word for it this morning.
It's real minerally.
Yeah, it is. I like that. It has a real distinct. It's a wonderful smell. And then, so you look at the color, you look at the scent, and then when you have a sip, what do you look for?
So those flavor profiles I told you, you translate that from your nose to your palate, and then depending on what the wine is, the Sauvage, for example, super dry, no sugar added to that, so it's really dry on the palate, great acidity.
I can feel it right here.
On the back, yeah. And
I
then
like that.
really long finish on the palate.
I like that. I like that. So how many, these are some of your, I see these bottles all around. They're wonderful. And then I know that you, though, have won national awards for, was it the Blanc de Noir?
The Blanc de Noir, yes.
Is that the one that is the Wine Spectator?
To the top 100, yes.
It's amazing. Made right here.
Right here in New Mexico.
And the grapes, you guys, could just come from like TRC or something.
TRC, just outside of TRC, yes.
It's amazing. This is, it really is a really stunning sparkling.
Thank you.
And how long do you age these? I mean, like I think of wine, and you have to age wine, but champagne and sparkling wines,
Total different animal.
Total different, right?
So yeah, because you go through 2 different fermentations of sparkling wine, you're 2 years out before it's released to the public. So what we'll do is the first fermentation will take 6 months, and then we'll bottle the wine white, yeast and sugar again, and cap the bottle off, and it'll lay down for 18 months. And for that 18 months, the yeast eats the sugar, and that creates natural CO2 in the bottle. So then we have to get that out, but then that's another process called disgorging. You take the bottles, you put them upside down, you freeze the neck of the bottle, you pop the cap off, you have crystal clear wine, and then you add whatever residual sugar you want to add to make it whatever flavor profile you're going after.
Wow. So how do you get the little bubbles in it? Is that just the yeast?
That's yeast and sugar, the reaction between yeast and sugar. Yeast eats the sugar, creates CO2 naturally, and then it's trapped in there. So there's about 80 million bubbles in a bottle of champagne.
That's amazing. That is amazing. What's your favorite? What's the one that you think?
All of them.
All of them? Is there one that you look at and you say, this is the one that we're really, really proud of, the one that everybody has to try?
I'm really proud of all of them, but if I had to pick 1 or 2, it'd be our higher echelon, our Grand Reserve and Grand Rosé.
Oh.
They're an homage to my grandparents who, because of them, we are here today. So those 2 are something that my uncle-in-law and I have a lot of a lot into. We don't make it every year. It has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect, and for us to be able to make that.
So how much wine do you get to drink? I mean, sample.
It's almost on a daily. It's almost on a daily.
Did you, growing up in the family, you're third generation.
Third generation, yes.
And how different is it when you talk to people about your relationship to wine and relationship to sparkling wine? When you're going out and, Americans generally don't have wine with dinner, Europeans do, right? I mean, how is your relationship to this kind of stuff different from your friends and your peers growing up?
It was really funny because my parents, would let me taste wine at the dinner table, and when friends would come over, they'd be like, "Whoa, you're letting your son drink?" And now he's tasting it, it's part of the European culture.
Right.
And I remember my mom telling me a story when we first moved to Albuquerque. They went to a Super Bowl party and everybody was drinking beer, and she brought champagne and people were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" So it was kind of weird at the beginning, but I think all of our friends and family friends have gotten used to it, and they're kind of following in what we did. And so it was weird at the beginning, but everybody's getting used to it.
I love it.
The culture is changing.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I'm going to sample some more of this in a minute. And maybe you can give me some tips on how to open a bottle when we come back.
Absolutely.
In a couple of minutes on the Morning Brew.